Hello, back again for another recipe. Tonight we're going to make pesce alla Siciliana, or to say it properly, Rose is going to tell you how you're actually meant to pronounce it.
Pesce alla Siciliana.
Beautiful. Or Sicilian fish. Ingredients wise, we've got some nice pieces of cod. Fish, when it's frozen in the supermarket, is normally pretty good quality because it's frozen pretty quickly after it's caught. So using frozen fish is fine, just make sure it's fully defrosted before you start. For the fish we'll need some oil to cook it in, and we've got some sea salt and some cracked black pepper, and we've got some normal salt for seasoning our sauce. The ingredients for our sauce, we're going to flavour the oil for the sauce with some chilli and some garlic. Then we're going to add some chopped tomatoes. I'm going to add a bit of chorizo in as well. You don't have to use the chorizo, we just had some in the fridge, so I'm just using that up. And then we've got two different types of olives. Again, if you've only got one type of olives in your cupboard, one type, it's fine. Some capers, and then we'll just finish it off with a little bit of chopped parsley at the end. Start cooking by flavouring our oil, and that's going to give a real depth of flavour all the way through the dish. So we'll pop some oil into our pan. We're using some of Rose's dad's delicious olive oil. I'll sell you some if you want some. Little plug for Angelo there, Rose. So with your garlic, what you want to do is you want to keep the clove whole. So just top and tail your garlic, and then you can either use a knife or use your fingers, and you're just going to peel that. Now what you can do, if you like your food especially spicy, what you can do is make a slit down the chilli, and then you'll get even more heat into your oil. But I'm a bit of a wimp when it comes to spices, so we're not going to go too crazy tonight. So literally all we're going to do is pop them in whole like that. Might pop a little bit more oil in there, and we're just going to let that cook until the garlic is nicely browned all the way around and the skin on your chilli starts to blister. Just keep video on actually. So we're just looking for that nice golden colour on your garlic there. You won't even need to cook it for as long on the other side, again just until it's going golden. And what we're doing here is we're getting all that flavour from the chilli and the garlic into the oil, so then everything else that you cook in the oil afterwards will get that lovely flavour of chilli and garlic through it. And once you're there, so you see how that's all nicely blistered, you can then get rid of your chilli and your garlic, so we don't need them anymore. So we've got our nicely flavoured oil on there. Into that we're going to add some chorizo. So again, like I said at the beginning, you don't necessarily need to add chorizo into this recipe. In fact, we normally don't, but I guess this is my take on Rose's dish. Coming out into our oil, so that's going to go straight into our pan. Oil's still hot. And actually, the residual heat from what we had the garlic and the chilli in, is that you probably don't even need to put it back on the heat at this stage. Just let it cook like that. So you can see there, one of the main ingredients in chorizo is paprika, and you can see the colour from the paprika starting to come out into the oil there. So again, that's adding loads of lovely flavour into there. And then into that we're going to add our tin of chopped tomatoes. So one tin's probably enough for two people. Again, if you're doing it for more people, just times the recipe up. Give that a good mix. Pop the heat back on, bring it up to the boil, and then let it simmer for about 10 minutes. Just trying to cook those chopped tomatoes. Now we're on to cooking our fish. It's not an easy thing to do to get it absolutely spot on, but it just takes practice, that's all it is. So have a go, see how you get on. It might fall apart a little bit, but don't worry, it'll taste just as good. With your fish, whenever you present fish in a dish, you always present it the side that you cook first. So if you can see here, you've got kind of a nice side and a side that doesn't look quite as nice. So you're always going to present it this side up, but that means that you need to cook that side first when you put it into the pan. So we're going to season with some rock salt and a little touch of pepper, and we're just going to season that first side for now, and then when we put it in the pan we'll season the other side. So we're going to add some oil into a frying pan, and we're going to get it fairly hot. So you don't want it quite smoking, but not far off. You need it nice and hot because that's going to help the fish to cook, and it's also going to help it stop sticking. So the sauce is now just brought it to the boil and then turned it down just so it's simmering nice. Okay, so with your fish, you're just going to lay it into the pan, and whenever you're cooking fish you always lay it away from you. If I laid it towards myself I'd be in more danger of splashing myself, so you always lay it away, and that's the sound that you want to hear, that sizzle when you put it in. And then you press down on it and that'll stop it curling up a little bit. We're going to put all 4 pieces in. And then we're going to season the second side of our fish. When you're seasoning, you always do it from quite high up, because if you do it from low down, you'll get little pockets of salt, so you want to do it from high up, and with your rock salt, you want to crush it a little bit between your fingers as well. A little bit of pepper as well. You don't want to put too much pepper on your fish, because it will overpower it, just a little turn. And now the most important thing when you're cooking fish is that you just let it cook. Don't start shaking the pan around or trying to lift it up. Let it cook, leave it for a few minutes, and we'll see. You'll start to see where it changes colour coming up the side. When it's kind of 3/4 of the way cooked, then you turn it over and you finish it, and just let the heat in the pan finish it off. I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit. While our fish is cooking, we're going to finish off our sauce. So if you just pop over to the sauce, Rosa, please. See how that's starting to change colour now a little bit, so that's the tomatoes cooking. We're going to add the rest of the ingredients into there. Olives, 2 different types of olives. I'm going to cut them in half. They can go in. Again, just cut all of them in half. And they're going to go in as well. Add our capers in. Give that a good stir to cook. We just want that sauce to reduce a little bit, so I'll turn the heat up to make it nice and thick. And then you can see our fish, it's just started to go white up here, so now we can turn that over. You see we've got lovely golden colour on that side of the fish. We'll probably even turn the heat off on that now and just let the rest of it cook through. With cod you can tell it's cooked when it's just starting to flake. You see how it's not opaque in the middle anymore, it's just nice and white, that means it's cooked. And while our sauce is just thickening a little bit, we're just going to chop up some parsley. So this parsley, to chop it really finely, what you want to do is make it into as tight a bunch as possible. So just kind of tuck it under itself there, and then just go from the top and just slice through. And then go the other way. And do that a few times. Fish is ready. Our sauce is nearly ready. We're just thickening it up a little bit. one last thing we need to do is taste the sauce and add some salt and pepper if we need to. Nice. So we're just going to add a little bit of salt. The olives and capers are quite salty, so you don't need to add too much salt. And remember, you've got the spice from your chilli, and we've put the chorizo in as well, so there's a little bit of spice already there, so don't go too mad with the pepper. And as soon as that sauce has thickened up a little bit, we'll be ready to plate it up. Okay, so our sauce is nicely thickened now, so I'm just going to take that off the heat, and then we're going to start plating up. So, the bowls that I've put it in, I've just warmed in the microwave for a minute, because whenever you plate up hot food, you want to put it into a hot plate or a hot bowl. Keep it nice and hot. And then we just want the ladles of sauce. How does that smell, Rosa?
Delicious.
And then we're going to pop our fish on top. Try and put your nicest pieces of fish on the top. We'll put that one on the bottom. And then we're just going to finish with that chopped parsley. Beautiful. And that is our pesce alla Siciliana. Enjoy, happy cooking, good luck, let me know how it turns out. Don't forget to wash your hands.